If you think an underground bunker will keep you safe, listen to my story. It was the night when silence became the most dangerous thing of all. I never planned to spend a single night underground, let alone weeks, but when the first news alerts hit, reports of violent outbreaks, people biting strangers, entire neighborhoods going dark, I grabbed a small backpack, the emergency radio, and followed my neighbor Alex to the old government bunker complex he swore was zombie-proof. The entrance was hidden in the woods behind a rusted water tower. Cold air rolled out as the heavy steel door creaked open. The sound echoed like a warning. I told myself it was safer than the chaos above, but the smell of damp metal and something faintly sour made my stomach tighten. At first, the place felt almost comforting. Concrete corridors lined with faded hazard signs, dusty supply rooms stocked with canned food. There were 5 of us: Alex, his sister Mira, an older man named Harris, and a young couple, Jun and Leah. We agreed to stay quiet and keep the generator off most of the time to conserve fuel. The silence was thick, broken only by the occasional drip of water somewhere deep in the tunnels. Day 1 felt manageable. We unpacked, checked supplies, and tried to share nervous jokes. But when night came, the quiet turned oppressive. You could hear your own pulse. Around 2 a.m., a low metallic clang rang out from a hallway we hadn't explored. Alex grabbed a flashlight, but the beam barely pierced the dark. We decided it was probably a pipe settling. Old structures make noises, right? Still, I slept with my shoes on. By day 3, the food storage room smelled off. Not the typical musty odor. Something sharper, like rotten meat. Harris swore he'd locked the door, but it stood slightly open. Inside, a single can lay punctured, contents oozing across the floor. No rodents, no footprints, just the can. That night, I woke to a faint scratching. It wasn't rats. It was slower, deliberate, like fingernails on concrete. Mira whispered she heard it too, coming from the ventilation shaft above our bunks. On day 5, the radio flickered with static. Then a voice. "Stay inside. They're learning." The signal cut before we caught more. "Learning what?" Jun asked, his voice shaking. No one answered. Later, while checking the far corridor for leaks, I found a smear of dark, rust-colored liquid on the wall. It wasn't there before. My flashlight beam trembled as I followed the trail to a locked maintenance door. Behind it came a low, wet, breathing sound. We debated leaving immediately, but outside, we'd heard gunshots earlier. Distant screams carried on the wind through the air vents. We were trapped between 2 dangers: whatever was above ground and whatever waited in that locked room. That night was the worst. Around midnight, the generator kicked on by itself. The harsh fluorescent lights snapped awake, humming loudly. Then bang, the maintenance door slammed, though none of us had touched it. The breathing grew louder, echoing through the vents. Mira clutched my arm, whispering, "It knows we're here." Alex tried to keep us calm, but his eyes betrayed him. He motioned for everyone to stay put, while he and I crept toward the maintenance door. The metal handle felt icy. When I pressed my ear against it, I heard a whisper. Not words, just a soft exhale that almost sounded like a chuckle. Suddenly, a deafening screech tore through the bunker, like metal being ripped apart. Lights flickered, Leah screamed. Something heavy slammed into the door from the other side. We ran. Harris stumbled, his flashlight skidding across the floor. The screeching stopped as abruptly as it began, replaced by silence so complete it rang in my ears. We barricaded ourselves in the main control room. The only light came from the dim emergency exit sign, casting long red shadows. Hours crawled by, no more noises, just our ragged breathing and the slow drip of condensation. I thought about the voice on the radio. They're learning. By dawn, the maintenance hallway was quiet. We decided to make a run for it. When we reached the exit, the heavy steel door stood wide open, though Alex swore he'd locked it with the manual bolts. Outside, the forest was still, blanketed in a gray fog. No tracks, no sounds of chaos, just silence. We hiked back toward town, every twig snap making us flinch. Streets were empty, cars abandoned, houses stood with doors ajar, like someone or something had walked right in and never left. Eventually, we split up to find our families. I never saw Alex or the others again. It's been months since that night. I don't talk about it much, but sometimes, when I lie awake, I swear I hear that slow, wet breathing in the air vents of my apartment. Maybe it was just the stress, the echoes of an old bunker settling, or maybe something followed us out, something patient enough to wait. If you ever think an underground bunker is the safest place during an outbreak, remember, sometimes the danger isn't outside,